Hey everyone, Fina here from Fina Reads. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today with another episode of BookTube Recommends. This time I asked my BookTube friends what their favorite science fiction and or fantasy indie published book is. And there are a lot of amazing choices. My TBR is crying. I promise you yours will be soon as well. As always, I have the links to all their channels down below in the subscription. So don't forget to hop on over, give them some love, subscribe if you like their taste. And without further ado, let's see what they are recommending.
Hey friends, I'm Tori from Tori Talks, and I'm here to recommend my personal favorite SFF indie book. Now, I honestly have to hold up two books because I cannot pick between them, and those, of course, are By Blood, by Salt by J.L. Odom and its sequel, A Haunt for Jackals by J.L. Odom. These are the first two books in her Land of Exile trilogy, and she is currently working on the third and final book, and I have absolutely loved this world and these characters from the moment I stepped foot in the first few pages of By Blood, by Salt. This series is written by an author who knows her craft to such an extent. It is masterful to read. It is a deep character study, which is something I have always loved, and it is beautifully done here. The languages, the cultures, the setting, the story, the tension, everything about this is everything I love about slow burn, epic, military, character-driven fantasy, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. I am waiting for the third book in this trilogy very impatiently, and I cannot wait until it is out and I can get my hands on it, and I hope that you give it a chance as well.
Hey everyone, it's Zahava. Thank you so much to Fina for including me in this video. The book I would like to recommend to you all is Charlotte Doesn't Matter and Goes Time Traveling, and this is the first in a trilogy by Australian author Sam Bowring. So this is a story that has to do with a woman in her early 30s who is leading an otherwise unremarkable life as a security agent at the Sydney airport, where one day a somewhat handsome man comes through with a mysterious and weird device strapped to his wrist. So he takes it off, he puts it through the scanner, and then somebody out of the crowd comes chasing him, and the guy runs away, and Charlotte is left with this mysterious little locking device. And for whatever reason, she decides to put it on, and then, shockingly, she can't take it off. So she's got to track down this mysterious guy and try and figure out how to get this device off of her wrist. And of course, as the title suggests, Charlotte is going to go time traveling. What I would say for you guys, if you're at all intrigued, is that this is a book that is highly satirical, very, very punny, and Monty Python-esque. So it's not meant to be a book that's taken seriously, although the author does not sacrifice anything in terms of plot and character development. The writing is extremely accessible and flows really, really easily. It's the type of book that you can vividly picture every scene. And the most important thing, at least for me, is that the author has clearly thought out the world building process and has not left things up to the imagination or any holes in the plot that the reader would have to suss out on their own. This is possibly my favorite sci-fi read of 2025. I can't wait to get to the next two in the series, and I really hope that you guys will give it a try.
All right, everyone, Mark from the Book Lounge. Fina, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be on here on your channel and share with you and everyone else my favorite indie science fiction or fantasy book. I'm going with fantasy because I am new to the genre, and this one book made me fall in love with fantasy, and now I know why people love this genre so much. Which book is it? The Envoys of War by Dave Lawson. This book was amazing. This book is about trust, loyalty, and how far you would go to do the right thing during the times of war. Dave Lawson's writing in this is so smooth and has such a great rhythm to it, you will fly through the pages. Trust me, if you haven't already, I highly recommend you pick this one up. Fina, thank you again, and I hope you and everyone else have a great day.
Hey Fina, thank you so much for having me on the channel to go through and discuss my favorite science fiction fantasy indie book. And to be very honest, this was nearly impossible to go through and just pick one. So I'm going to go through and talk about two fantastic stories that you and your viewers must go through and read. Can I get those indie books, please? Thank you. All right, so the first one we're going to talk about is Shadowbane by the fantastic Cal Logan. This is a character-driven military thriller about two twins who are a part of a prophecy where it states, for one to succeed, the other must fail. So we have these two twins battling against demons and cults and just horrific members of this universe of trying to go through and save the humanity that they love. This is fantastic. Cannot recommend more. Shadowbane by the fantastic Cal Logan. The next one is Aaron Payne's Fallen into Oblivion. This is a cyberpunk detective story about Detective Saul trying to go through and solve a mystery around body modifications. It is amazing, well-developed story with grounded, realistic characters in this crazy cyberpunk world. You're not going to want to go through and miss this fantastic gem. So we have Shadowbane by Cal Logan, Fallen into Oblivion by Aaron Payne. Either of these are fantastic stories you should go through and pick up. Fina, thank you so much for having me on the channel, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Hey everybody, we are on location just outside of the Badlands today. Also, yes, we are rocking the rainbow in the background. So, Josefina wanted us to give you a personal recommendation of the best indie fantasy or sci-fi book that we read this year. I really wanted to do two, but she was really leaning towards that one. So as much as I wanted to tell you about Tori Tekken's Cold Silver Souls, necromancy, gunfighting, strong female characters, couldn't do it. I can only fit one in. And by the hair of his teeth, I'm going to have to give it to Michael Michel's The Price of Power. We have got tragic heroes. We have got some manic people in here. And we also have the a child of prophecy, but turned on its head. Absolutely worth checking out. Also, book 2 just dropped this year as well, and book 1 was a reprint this year. So you've got time to read both of those books back to back. So that's my suggestion. Hope you guys have a good one, and I hope it's a little less rainy there. Later.
Hey guys, my name is Ian from the channel Ian the Reader. Thanks so much to Fina for letting me be a part of this fun video. I wanted to share the series Debt Collection by Andrew Givler with you all, the first book being Soul Fraud. This is an urban fantasy indie published series following a young man who is approached by a demon offering him a deal of 10 amazing years where he has everything he wants and then he has to give his soul to the devil. Our main character says no, but the demon has a quota to meet, so he forges his signature. We follow our main character as he tries everything he can to get his soul back. This series is so much fun. Each book is full of different adventures and unexpected twists and turns with some lovable characters. If you're a fan of the Dresden Files, you do not want to miss this series. It is so good. There are currently 4 books out and a planned 10 at least, I think, and the author is planning on publishing 1 to 2 a year. So definitely get on to this series. It is a great time. Thanks again to Fina for letting me be a part of this video.
What's up, Beasties and Fina folks? I'm so excited to be a part of this collab. Thank you, Fina, for inviting me. I love indie books. I love fantasy, love sci-fi. So, of course, I'm all in for some sci-fantasy indie books. And I got 2 to tell you about. That's right, 2, because I can't just pick one. First up, we got Wistful Ascending by the one and only J.C.M. Byrne. This is awesome. We got Rohan here on the front. I mean, look at the cover. It's beautiful. It's awesome. If you like superheroes, you like sci-fi, you like fantasy, you're going to love this. It's got some humor, hope. It can be a little dark at times. Ugh, I love this book. Cannot wait to dive back into the series. And we got The Forsaken Planet by Brian Wilson. I'm listening to the audiobook of this right now, and it is so good. I'm almost done with it. If you like Star Wars, and you like coming of age, this is awesome stuff. You cannot go wrong. And I do like me some purples and blues. What can I say? Check these out. You're going to love them.
I am so excited to talk on this subject today. My favorite indie book so far that I have read is The Animal by Chad Nicholas. This fits squarely within the realm of speculative fiction, but it is a horror novel. It's actually a slasher novel, and I've actually never read a slasher novel before, and this was just absolutely brilliant. High stakes, edge of your seat twists that just keep you guessing throughout the entire book, and it's about people that are being besieged by an animal that seems to have been around for a very long time and trying to uncover what's happening to them and to survive the animal at the same time. It's just an absolutely brilliant book. Chad Nicholas is an awesome writer, and I hope you'll check it out.
Hi Fina, thank you for having me on your channel again. This time as an sci-fi and fantasy indie published author, I would like to recommend T. Kingfisher. I know she's technically a hybrid, but Paladin's Grace her, I would say, romantic fantasy is a great choice. And that universe is really approachable and funny and witty, and she's a great writer, so I can wholeheartedly recommend her and her work, especially the Clock Tower Wars duology. I hope there's a third book coming up because it was really intelligent. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to the video and what other people recommended.
Hey Fina, Andrew's Wizardly Reads here, and you asked me for some of my favorite indie SFF. And right now there's only one I can think of. That is The Hunter by Kay Agard. This is the special edition I just bought of this book. It is the googly eye edition. It's got googly eyes all over it. It's got googly eyes on the spine. It's got googly eyes on the naked hardcover. Anyway, the googly eyes aren't important, but what is important is this book is phenomenal. It's got great pacing, great found family, great animal companions. Strider is this ranger-style character, much like Strider from Lord of the Rings, who has lost his way. He has completed his revenge, and he is ready to just be done. But his animal companion doesn't want him to give up. And so he finds this girl, Addie, to kind of just attach to Strider and gives him a quest to get this girl home in hopes of pulling him out of, well, this just dark depression. And we form bonds and we go on adventures, and it's such a wonderful, wonderful read. I highly recommend The Hunter by Kay Agard.
Let me tell you, it's really hard to narrow down my favorite indie fantasy book. And I actually recently did a video where I was doing 10 of my favorites because I couldn't narrow it down into a real ranking. So there are definitely lots of answers I could do. The one I wanted to bring up, because I just think people absolutely need to check out more, is The Haunt on the Island of Esmer by Justin A.W. Blair. This was one of my biggest surprises last year. I absolutely loved this, and there are like 3 ratings on Goodreads for this, and I'm one of them. So it's definitely one that more people should check out. The way that this one is kind of sold is it has a lot of inspiration from Glenn Cook's The Black Company, and as well as Malice and Book the Fallen by Erickson, with a little bit of Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire in there as well. I will say though, I ended up enjoying this a lot more than I did most of those things, and it doesn't feel like it's trying to like ape them or like steal from them. It's kind of doing its own thing, even though you can see those inspirations. So it ends up being a really well written dark fantasy that balances the dark and kind of horrific elements at some point with like the cosmic horror, with moments of levity and lightness, and just weaves together a really great story, and is definitely one to check out. It's about the relic hunters of the Ninth who go to these places called haunts, where these ancient like ruins and places are that have magical artifacts that are very powerful, but also make things really crazy and kind of start driving you insane while you're in there trying to get them. And so that's the haunt on the island of Esmer, is they're going to get a particular one. That's kind of the start here, and it's just a wild ride, and one I really want more people to check out, and I'm looking forward to the next book on.
My recommendation for this video is Salt in the Wound by Benjamin Averin, which is book 1 in the Rainfall saga, which, by the way, is a finished trilogy. That's what we all love. So if that's not already reason enough to check out this fantasy story, Salt in the Wound, or the Rainfall saga in general, is a very unique story in that it is actually a dystopian sci-fi where in the future the rain destroyed the world, but we are now living in kind of medieval adjacent scenarios. So you have genes, but you live in 10 cities. You're doing farming more akin to what you would have done in the Middle Ages, that kind of stuff. So it's a really fascinating mix on spotting some of the more futuristic items in the story versus the generally more fantastical setting. So I hope you take a look at Benjamin Averin's Salt in the Wound and the entire Rainfall saga and enjoy it as much as I did. What a fantastic list of science fiction and fantasy stories. I am thrilled that you have a bunch more options now on checking out really cool stories from indie published authors. Let us know down in the comments which one your favorite indie published science fiction or fantasy story is. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to all my BookTube friends. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye!